That's where we'll begin the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial for Deobra Redden and the charges against him. Take a listen. On January 3rd of this year, Deobra Redden leapt and tackled Judge Mary Kay Holthus. He was in court for sentencing for a probation violation connected to an attempted battery charge, which stemmed from allegations that he had attacked somebody with a baseball bat the year before. Moments before the courtroom attack, Redden asked to stay on probation instead of being sent to prison.
Based on my criminal history, I feel that I should be sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history?
Holthus did not like his criminal history.
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs.
I'm in a better place in my mind, my mental health. I have a support system. I just got hired as a teamster for, a union.
After stating his case for leniency, Holthus began to sentence him to prison.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
According to court documents, Redden punched Judge Holthus in the head and pulled her hair, and he punched a corrections officer multiple times and spit in another person's face. The court marshal, who ran to help Holthus, tripped as he tried to detain Redden, dislocating his shoulder and cutting his forehead, requiring 25 stitches. Redden is now facing a slew of new charges, including attempted murder, battery on a protected person, and battery on an officer. He invoked his right to a speedy trial and has pled not guilty.
He's also pleading not guilty based upon reason of insanity. Just like everybody else, and looking at the video, I thought Mr. Redden was either out of his mind or on drugs at the time of this incident. But after extended discussions with Mr. Redden, Ms. Springer, and other family members, I came to find out that he suffered from severe paranoid schizophrenia.
Redden ended up appearing in front of Holthus one more time to finish the sentencing hearing.
I am making my calendar page from that day an exhibit for the court. Nothing's been changed, indicating the sentence I intended to impose.
Redden was sentenced to 19 to 48 months in prison, but now he could face decades behind bars.
Again, jury selection beginning today in that case. Let's bring in our guest for this hour to discuss from Los Angeles, California, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Marie Pereira. Marie, you heard Deobra Redden's attorney there saying this is a case of paranoia. This is mental health. What does the jump say to you?
You know, I have to stop myself from wanting to laugh every time I see this video because it's not funny, but it is like, oh my God. I think they may have a good defense for mental health issues contributing to what he did because, like his attorney said, he looked like he was out of his mind, but they need to come up with expert testimony to verify any mental health diagnosis prior to this event that they're going to try to use as a defense. I think that the state overcharged because I don't see any intentional attempted murder here. I see someone who lost their mind because the judge was about to lock him up. Is it excusable? Is there a defense for that? Yes, a battery, not an attempted murder, because I don't think he intended to murder anyone.
I agree. Julia doesn't. She thinks it's an attempted murder.
That's the same thing Ted said, that he thinks that it's not exactly attempted murder, but what would have happened if they had not been able to pull him off of the judge? Would he have stopped hitting?
Probably, and he knew that they were there. I don't know. The attempted murder part of it, to me, is a little bit of an eyebrow raiser. And
yes, it is.
But to that point, it is going to be on the menu, and even if they come back with battery on a protected official, he's looking at significant time. What about the mental health defense, trying to get a jury to buy into the fact that he was suffering from mental illness? I mean, it seems like that's not going to happen. Talk about a leap. that might be a very difficult leap for the defense to get over that hurdle, because the court's not going to acknowledge it. So it's a tough one to go down that road, which you heard from the attorney, that's part of the equation in their mind.
You know, Ted, you and I usually see eye to eye on these things, but I think that you're wrong. It is not a difficult leap because he does have history, according to clips that I followed when this case first came out, from his family. He does have history of mental health that has been documented. So if they come up with the right expert to verify what he was experiencing in terms of diagnosed mental health issues, he could have a good defense for him being unable to control his impulses and having all that adrenaline that made him leap like a superhero over the table onto where the judge was. It had to be something mental health, and I don't think it's going to be a problem to find an expert to come in and corroborate that.
Yeah, let's listen back to what some of his family members who were there at those hearings after the fact when he came back into the courtroom, they were able to speak to the media. Take a listen.
Tell us about your brother and the brother that we haven't seen. You know, who is he like? What is he like? And how did he get in this situation?
Well, he's basically born with mental illness. He was born with crack cocaine in his system. So his chance of life was taken at birth. Deep inside, he's a good person. He's just not had the opportunity in life to be surrounded by positive people.
Do you think that this will, essentially him being sentenced, will undo all the work that he's done to repair his mental state?
No, definitely not. It's only going to put him in a worse state of mind because the system has failed him, and that's how he feels. That's how he feels that the system fails him. So he's going to come out with that mentality and go forward in life, knowing that he has pleaded everything that he can, and being in a better place is different for us all. If he can be in a better place for a month, 30 days, for him, that's a lot.
So, Marie, what they are saying goes to your point about just how long he suffered from these issues, and it sounds like there will be medical evidence of that. But I want to ask you about just the video, how people react to seeing a judge in harm's way. How challenging is it going to be to get a jury to look past that when you have this video and you have this judge who, again, battery on a protected person? It really exacerbates things.
It does exacerbate things, and that's where jury selection comes into effect. If the defense picks the type of jury who has had little contact with the system, who are not pro-system, who dislike judges, and who feel like, you know what, the judge was rough on him, didn't want to listen to what his situation was, they may somehow empathize with him. That's where voir dire is going to be very important, and jury selection will be important because you don't want to pick people who are pro-system. You want to pick people who could say, yeah, that judge really had it coming. Unfortunately, there are people like that out there who could sneak on the jury.
Well, yeah, we'll see. That'd be tough to maybe find that person. You'd have to get lucky in voir dire, because no one's going to admit that, not during jury selection.